Look at Swansea today, a vibrant coastal city, but under its modern surface lay a history forged in the fires of the Industrial Revolution. In the 18th century, Swansea was booming with copper, and in its heart a small Jewish community was taking root. Swansea, that is Abertawe in Welsh, was the global centre of copper smelting, which brought in merchants and workers and earned Abertawe the nickname Copperopolis. My name is Benjamin Angwin, and today I'm talking about David Michael of Swansea, at the crossroads of Judaism, Wales, and the industrial age copper boom, and how a single man laid much of the foundations for Welsh Jewish life. Wales is rich in coal, and with a canal extending up to Castell to bring this in, Abertawe became the powerhouse for refining copper ore shipped in from Cornwall, Ynys Môn, and even as far away as Cuba. By the mid-1700s, Abertawe, that is the Welsh name and what we will call Swansea for the rest of this video, except when saying David Michael of Swansea, as he came to be known. Abertawe was at the heart of this global trade. Paintings of this era show its skies clogged with smoke. The town's docks teemed with ships as its economy boomed. I like that word, booming, boomed. The centre of Abertawe rivaled Edinburgh's beautiful Newtown neighbourhood in architecture. Before the World War II Blitz saw many of Abertawe's buildings lost, of course. But this age in the 18th century, this wasn't just a local industry, it was a magnet, drawing in entrepreneurs, workers, sailors, and traders from across Britain and the expanding British Empire, all seeking opportunity in this new cradle of industry. One group who was looking for a new home to flourish in were the Jews of Prussia, ruled by Frederick the Great, who he protected against angry mobs mostly on one hand, but then taxed them into poverty on the other. He couldn't win. So many Jewish merchants left Brandenburg and Prussia, both part of Prussian lands, in German lands during this period. Some of them came to Wales, to Abertawe, and one of these Jews was named David Michael. It is definitely my opinion that he made up the name David Michael, but I have no proof of any other birth name. Both David and Michael are Hebrew, so maybe so. David Michael, like many other Jewish immigrants of his time, found himself drawn to the growing economic hope of Britain. The era was the birth of the Great British Empire. David likely came to Abertawe in the mid-1740s, after Frederick the Great had won the Second Silesian War over Austria. This expansion of his Prussian lands and military forces were expensive, and if he taxed his new subjects, there could have been a rebellion. So he raised taxes on Jews. Why is it always the Jews being taxed when you look back in history? Anyway, David Michael was a young silversmith looking for opportunities, and once in Abertawe he began first as a peddler, selling goods door to door, a common path for new migrants to set themselves up. It is also a good way to make social contacts. David Michael was in a good place to make a profit. He was a silversmith, and using the connections he had made selling door to door in the middle of a copper boom, with social links within the Jewish community, he set up a business using his silversmithing skills, we assume. We don't know exactly what he did, but he made good money and was a good businessman. He also formed a close relationship with Mr. Jacob Cohen, another German Jew, who would be key in setting up an official synagogue in 1818, which would then be moved to a bigger synagogue on Goat Street in 1859. For any of you who Google Goat Street after watching this video and you can't find it, it was destroyed in World War II, but look on older maps and it is there. David Michael's home on Wind Street became the first real place of Jewish worship in Wales from the 1770s. This place of worship laid the foundations for Wales's oldest and longest lasting Jewish community. A side note on earlier Welsh Jewish history. There were definitely Jews here by the mid-1100s, but after King Edward I conquered Wales at the end of the next century, he expelled Jews from Wales too. And so I'm just highlighting, Jews were not new to Wales, they were bringing Jewish culture back. Now how about David Michael of Swansea? His in-house synagogue was at the back of his living room, and is said to have fit 30 or 40 people. But whether or not there was even a minyan at this point is unknown. A minyan is the 10 Jewish men required for public service. The Swansea Corporation, which was heavily involved in the docks and copper smelting, granted David Michael a 99-year lease of land on the top of Town Hill for a Jewish cemetery. This is a beautiful location and is the oldest Jewish cemetery in Wales. If I were to stay in Abertawe, I would hope for such a grave, though it was closed for burials in 1975, so I missed my chance even before I was born. The cemetery was eventually taken into full Jewish ownership in 1864, but this would have never happened without David Michael's business skills and social connections. A big thanks to him. By 1789, and partly through David Michael's financial help, the congregation moved to a room on the Strand. A note on the Strand: before ever Abertawe, the river, was disfigured, redirected further east, and a shopping center put on top of the natural course of the river. The Strand was a beautiful position looking over the river's natural floodplain and sheltered from harsh winds, but the utter ignorance of Abertawe's post-war left-wing city planners is another video. Jewish migrants continued to trickle in over the course of the late 1700s and early 1800s. The growth was small, but without David Michael's organization to begin with, this might not have ever happened. Jews require burials, food, and worship in specific ways, and without a social infrastructure put in place, many Jews might never have come here. David Michael of Swansea's legacy reminds us that the copper boom was built not only by furnace workers and coal miners, but also by merchants who supplied them, traded with them, and helped Abertawe grow in global commerce. Judaism is the oldest non-Christian faith in Wales, having its roots in Abertawe, which was Wales's biggest Jewish community for 3 generations, before being taken over by Cardiff, that's Cardiff, in the 19th century. David Michael of Swansea set down the communal foundation of a faith that has been here longer, a century longer, than Islam and 2 centuries longer than most other faiths, with its first full synagogue, a century and a half older than any other non-Christian faith building in Wales, and the first Jewish cemetery, 175 years older than any non-Christian faith in Wales. After his death in 1797, his family continued to trade, to be a pillar of Abertawe's Jewish community and the community as a whole, and his grandson Michael John Michael even became mayor of Abertawe in 1848. That's a worthy achievement. You know, you come here penniless basically, and your grandson is mayor of the town. Not bad. By this time in 1848, there were more Jews in Wales than either Ireland or Scotland, and most of them in Abertawe. From the 1880s to the early 1920s, after the Russian Revolution in 1917, the Jewish population in Abertawe peaked at over 1,000, as Jews in the East fled from pogroms, and then the evil of communism. With the bombing blitz that hit the city in 1941, I know I said city, but it's a town, but it feels like a city. Anyway, when the bombing blitz hit the town in 1941, the original Goat Street Synagogue was destroyed. The town's Jewish community never truly recovered, and many went down the road to Cardiff, with a bigger community. After the War of Israeli Independence in 1948 and the rebirth of Israel, many Jews across Wales made Aliyah back to Israel, whilst others sought bigger communities in Manchester, London, and America. Even so, it is remarkable that a poor silversmith from Prussia was able to build the foundations of a modern Welsh Jewry within the 50 years or so that he lived in Wales. In no small part, due to David Michael's work, Wales would have more Jews than any other Celtic nation until the late 1850s. Thank you for sticking with me to the end of this video. Perhaps you would buy me a coffee, leave a super like, leave a donation, and if not, tap the like and just thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about the show, and we'll see you in the next video. Diolch yn fawr iawn. Hwyl am y tro.